Okay, here's my order. Get rid of parentheses, get rid of negative exponents, simplify. So my first step here is going to be to get rid of the parentheses in the first part of this problem. To do that, I'm going to multiply the negative 3, the exponent on the outside. I'm going to multiply that by all the exponents on the inside. Don't forget that this 2 has an exponent of 1. So this is going to become negative 3 times 1 is 2 to the negative third power. Negative 3 times 0 is x to the 0 power. Yay, we love that. And negative 3 times 2 is y to the negative 6 power. Times, I'm just going to write this out for now. Okay, so remember that when I have negative exponents, because my next step is to deal with the negative exponents, when I have negative exponents I need a fraction because they need to move. It's reciprocal. So there's no fraction right now. To make it a fraction, I'm going to put it over 1. Okay, so I'm just going to go through my whole numerator here. There's nothing to do in the denominator. I'm going to go through my numerator one term at a time and decide if it stays or goes. The first one, negative exponent, it moves. So it started in the numerator, it moves to the denominator. And once it moves, it becomes a positive exponent. Done. X to the 0 power, remember that's just 1. 1's not gonna, I don't even need to write it. I'm sure I'll have something else left up top. Okay, y to the negative 6 power. This has a negative exponent. It's going to move to the denominator. Becomes a positive 6. Okay, times 2. 2 has a positive exponent of 1, so it's just going to stay up top. Y has a positive exponent of 1. It's going to stay up top. And I should cross these out. Done, done. Okay, x to the third power, positive exponent, stays up top. Okay, I don't need to write the 1 anymore because I have other stuff in the denominator now. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do here is finish up by simplifying. They're actually even the same base, so I could do this one of two ways. I could actually put it in my calculator. 2 to the third power is 8. Of course, I can also do that in my calculator, but 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So what I could do is actually put in 2 divided by 8. If I don't know how to simplify that, I should. I can divide those both by 2. If I don't, I'm going to use the math fraction key on my calculator. Math, change to fraction, and it's going to give me the fraction 1/4. Okay, so this was 2 over 8. Or if I use my exponent laws, I have 2 more 2's in the denominator, so that's 4. So again, it's 1/4. So let's just, I didn't need all this part here. I'll just put an equal sign right here. Okay, so 1 is left on top. I'm not going to write it because I think I'll probably have some other stuff up there. And in the denominator, I'm left with 4. Okay, those are done. Alright, I have y's in the numerator and the denominator, so I'm going to simplify that. Where do I have more y's? In the denominator. How many more? Well, remember, y is y to the first power. So I have 1 on top, 6 on bottom. I have 5 more on bottom in the denominator. Okay, the y's are done. I only had one thing with x in it. It stays up top, x to the third power. So that's my final answer. I'm now going to take my calculator and check it. Okay, I'm going to store in some nasty numbers. I've got 2 variables here, so I need an x and a y. So I'm going to do pi, I'm going to store that into x, and I'm going to use square root of 2, get out of there, store that into y. Okay, so I've got 2 nasty numbers in here, 2 different irrational numbers, and now what I want to do is put in the original problem, find out what that gives me, and make sure it's equivalent to my answer. When you simplify, you should have something that's equivalent. So the original problem was 2x to the 0 power times y squared, close the parentheses, all of that to the negative third power, times 2y x to the third power, and get out of that exponent. Okay, so that's my original problem. Double check that. Yep, that's all right. And now what I'm going to do is see if that's equal to the answer I got over here. Now, remember, my answer is a fraction. So what I need to do with my fraction is use parentheses. I need to insert parentheses in the numerator and the denominator. In this particular problem, the one in the numerator is not going to matter because exponent will come before division, but I like to use it just to be safe. So up top in the numerator, I have x to the third power divided by, in my denominator, I need parentheses, 4, I just had a brain fart, alpha y to the fifth power, and get out of there and close that parentheses. Alright, I should get something equivalent, and I do. So since they're equivalent, I know that I've simplified correctly. I'm not positive it's finished, but I feel pretty good about it because I can't find anything else to simplify.